What's up, everybody? My name's Big Cam, and today we are talking about 2026's Mortal Kombat 2. And this is currently in theaters now, probably only for a short amount of time more because Star Wars comes out later this weekend, so this might have, less show times coming soon. So if you want to go check this out before then, I would recommend it. But Mortal Kombat 2 is far and away better than Mortal Kombat 1. I think the director Simon McQuoid did a far better job. He really listened to the fans. The first movie, it was good. I think all of us had that sentiment where it was good, it wasn't great, it wasn't terrible, but we wanted much more of what we were expecting from a Mortal Kombat movie. Now, I am happy to announce that Mortal Kombat 2 gives you those things. Not only does it give you more characters, Kitana, Baraka, Johnny Cage, it brings back characters that we loved, Kano, Kung Lao, but now, there's a twist. Some of them are bad, some of them are maybe good, they switch it up. Even Sub-Zero's back as Noob Saibot, which, sure, is that a spoiler? Maybe, but it's also kind of what the game is, right? Like, if you are facing your buddy in the game as a character and that character dies, you respawn to the next round, right? So some of these characters, even that die in the second movie, I have a very good feeling that they will respawn somehow, some way in the next film. So, poor Lewis Tan, I hope out of anybody returns for sure, but Jax deserves a return. But more than anything, I think Kano and Johnny Cage needed so much more time together on screen. Like, not only were they hilarious together, there was just such a vibe there, that connection that we needed much more of. Plus, I think, characters like Raiden, we should see much more of his lightning abilities, or maybe he's just so powerful that it's unfair, but I feel like we need to see more of Raiden. But of course, this cast, we now have Karl Urban as Johnny Cage, being the new lead of this film, rather than Lewis Tan as Cole Young, like the first movie. So they really switched up who's going to be the main focus of this movie, and Karl Urban was certainly it. But also Adeline Rudolph as Kitana. What do I know her from? It says she did Hellboy in 2024, The Crooked Man. So she did the most recent one. And it says she's only been in 4 films. Another film called Do Not Enter in 2026, and The Perfect Girl from Hong Woo-ki, and that's not out yet. So maybe a newer actress. I think I would definitely like to see more of her. Kitana, she was great in this. I almost thought she was the same girl from John Wick 4, if you know what I mean. And I think she's a pop star. That one, at least. This one's different. It says she is born in Hong Kong. She's a actress of German and Korean descent. Interesting. And she was in a Netflix show, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And then she was Minerva Marble in CW's Riverdale. So she was also in Riverdale. My mother watched that show. I'll have to ask her about this woman here. But either way, we also have returning characters like Sonya Blade, played by Jessica McNamee, Josh Lawson as Kano, love that. Martin Ford as Shao Kahn. I didn't think, this guy's been in a few movies now. The Kingsman, he's been in Fast 9, in The Machine. He normally just plays a big Russian dude, and he's more of a stunt guy, background actor type of thing, or maybe just a big, intimidating security type of guy, where he's huge and he's covered in tattoos. This was a role for him that was actually really good for his career, I think, where sure, Martin Ford's face was covered the whole time with a helmet, but it was his voice, and he was able to actually play the main villain, where if it was his face, I don't know if they would actually have given him that role, you know what I mean? But good for Martin Ford either way. He really killed it as Shao Kahn. I really believed he was a villain. At a certain point, though, he was cheating, and I go, oh, you scumbag, fuck you. Play fair in the Mortal Kombat. Ludi Lin as Liu Kang is back as well. The way that he disappeared in the film killed me. I go, where are you going? We need you. Mehcad Brooks is back as Jax. Tati Gabriel is here as Jade. Now, if you don't know Tati Gabriel, she was briefly in Uncharted, I believe, is where I know her from live action. But she is also going to be in her own video game for Naughty Dog Studios called Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. And that whole thing's going to be cool as fuck. But I believe she was also in The Last of Us, maybe? With, Naughty Dog in them. And I believe she played Nora. I could be confused. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty positive on that one, though. And then, of course, you got, you know, Chin Han as Sang Soon, Tadanobu Asano as Lord Raiden, Joe Taslim as Bihan, Hiroyuki Sanada back as Scorpion. They didn't necessarily advertise him, but he was somebody I wanted to see back for sure. Love Hiroyuki Sanada. He's fucking awesome. But also, like, Kung Lao, Louis Tan, Cole Young, you know, like, yeah, like, the cast in this was really good. I love the additions to the cast with Jade, Kitana, Johnny Cage, Noob Saibot. You know, like, there was some additions to this, especially that final fight scene between Scorpion, Noob Saibot, and it was like, there was like a version of Noob Saibot, and then there was like a shadow version of him. So there was like, it was like a 1v2, but yet like Kano and Karl Urban's Johnny Cage was there as well. So like, it was like this good fight. And like the actual fight sequences were quite impressive. None of them felt like just like they were just throwing punches and kicks for the sake of it. You know, like they felt like each of the fight scenes had a story going on in the fight as well. You know, and they felt intentional where like this punch led you to duck. You then throw a kick. You duck that kick. You throw something at him. He dodges the throw. You grab the thing. You swing yourself off of it and you land a kick. You know, like it felt intentional in the action. And then the story itself I felt was better with like the whole Kitana and her father arc and her being kind of a secret person for the good guys, you know what I mean? Like, and then they actually had a tournament. Like, this was what we wanted from Mortal Kombat 1, to be honest with you. The tournament, you know, like, the whole first movie felt like a setup for this, where like this felt like Mortal Kombat, and I really hope we get more and more and more of these Mortal Kombat movies, because this is what we're looking for, you know? Like, now you have the blueprint, now you don't need to do something else, you know? Now you can just play the hits, you know what I mean? And like switch up the story and the characters, but now you have the mold, you know what I mean? Like, this is what we're looking for, the 5v5, the way that the, oh, he lost, and then the fire went out, oh, 4 remaining on each side. You're like, you know, like you were tracking it. Is it a great movie? Not necessarily. But is it bad? Not in any sense in the form, you know, and it's so much better than the first movie. But still, I gave the first movie about 3 out of 5 stars. The second film, I'm giving 3.5 out of 5 stars. About a 7 out of 10. First one was like a true 6. This one for me is probably like a high 7. It's probably like a 7, 8. But still very good. What I was looking for from Mortal Kombat. But will it be better than Street Fighter later this year? I don't know. The casts are pretty comparable. I think there is more people that I'm excited to see in that Street Fighter cast. But also that's their first attempt. So let's see if it's anything like Mortal Kombat 1. Or if they skipped that stage and they were able to get to the mold like Mortal Kombat 2 was, you know what I mean? But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Did I spoil the fuck out of this for you? I'm sorry. But I'd love to hear your thoughts about everything that we talked about in this video and this movie. You know, like, did you go see this weekend? Did you see it opening weekend? Did you see it with your mom, with your roommate, with your buddy? I went with my roommate and my buddy Banad, and we had a good time. He's a bit of a hater on everything, so he was still like, eh, it wasn't great, but it was better than the first one. And if he can admit that, that's how I know this was way better than the first one. But he was like, the first one sucked, but yet we watched it and he's giggling and laughing his ass off at everything Kano said. And I'm like, listen, if you can giggle and laugh at something, even if it's not great, it's not bad. You know what I mean? Like, you can't say something's bad when I just witnessed you having a good time. Like, fuck you. You know? Like, but that's my thoughts on this. I would love to hear your thoughts on Mortal Kombat 2, and hopefully I didn't spoil this for you, but maybe you're somebody that doesn't mind spoilers and you just want to hear somebody that saw this film's opinion on it, and then maybe that will make you go watch it yourself. If that's your case, you know, did I make you want to go see it? Did I make you not want to go see it? It doesn't matter, you know. It doesn't matter if you saw this and completely have a different opinion than me. That's fine too. I would love to hear that opinion, you know, and comment below in a way that's not an asshole, and I'll respond back not like an asshole, and we'll all be friends. And that's what we're trying to do around here anyways, right? We're trying to make videos to talk about what I'm interested in and what I've been doing with my daily life. And I'm trying to find like-minded people that like movies, like going to the movies, and like talking about movies, you know, and like getting excited about things and talking about the things they're interested in. And I'm looking for people that aren't negative fucks that like to talk about the things they hate 24/7. Like, no thanks. You know, like, I didn't ask what you hated about something. I asked what you liked about it, you know? And sure, if you liked this movie, but there's still things that you didn't like, drop those down below. You know, it's still important to have criticism and critiques, but you can't just be an asshole 24/7 and call that criticism. Like, that's not the thing. You know, there's ways to comment negative review and not like something and not be an asshole. You know, that's all I ask. Which, that's not for all of you. About 99.9% of my commenters are really fucking cool people, but every now and again we get one of those bad apples and I gotta put them in their place, you know what I mean? And then they don't like it. They're like, oh, you attacked me. I go, you started this. I responded. What, you're offended? Block. Fuck you. You know, like, it doesn't matter to me. I don't need your viewership. I would like it, but I would like to talk to people that are cool and like things, you know? I don't need negative viewers. Not my people. You know, like, if you're a subscriber of this channel, you're cool, you like things, and you want to talk and hear about what other people have to say in a positive manner. But that's it for me, y'all. That's another Mortal Kombat movie review, so hopefully we get a third one of these in the future. They didn't necessarily tease, like, at the post-credit scene the same way at the end of the first movie they teased that Johnny Cage would be coming in the second, you know? Which, that alone could have made people want to see this movie, you know what I mean? Like, the whole first movie, they were like, damn, we didn't get Johnny Cage. And then that tease at the end of the first one, you're like, listen, I didn't love this movie, but I'm definitely down to see Johnny Cage, you know, and then now that it's Karl Urban, Johnny Cage, you know? The whole time, though, I was like, what is Johnny Cage's arcana? Like, what is his superpower? Is it just every time he puts on the sunglasses, he can do badass splits? And apparently, like, they didn't necessarily confirm what his arcana was, but he put on the sunglasses and threw a karate kick and then, you know, saved the day. So maybe he's got super karate kick. I don't know. But there's also one moment in this where, like, Johnny Cage, like, let out like a, you know, like a roar and like a grunt and like a growl. And the way that he did it, I was like, oh, Karl Urban would have been a mean Wolverine, you know what I mean? But now he's kind of similar age to Hugh Jackman. I feel like if we're going to get a new Wolverine, we're going to get somebody younger. But, you know, the same kind of way that Henry Cavill was a cameo for Wolverine in Deadpool Wolverine, maybe one day we can get a Karl Urban Wolverine cameo. I wouldn't be mad at that myself, you know? I think he would do a great job. You know, he has the, you know, he's got the grit of the teeth and the anger deep down in there, you know what I mean? But Karl Urban's also on The Boys season 5 right now, and that season finale I think came out Wednesday when this video dropped, so I can't wait to catch up for that and see where The Boys ends. But I heard some wild stuff for season 5, so any of The Boys fans out there, comment below as well. But that's it for me, y'all. Thank you guys so much for making it this far into the video. If you would like to support the channel or send your thoughts to my other social medias, links for those down in the description below. But if you want to support the channel further, the best way of doing that is dropping a like on this video, commenting down below, subscribing if you haven't already, and hit that bell so you don't miss future movie reviews and you get the notifications when those come out. Once again, my name is Big Cam, and I'll see you gorgeous folks in the next video. Peace!